Hi everyone, I'm Peter Carr, Director of the Social Media for Business Performance Programme at the University of Waterloo, delivered online to students in many parts of the world. This week inside the programme, the participants are contributing case studies to our online archive, which now has over 1,300 cases on the use of social media to improve organisational performance. The topic of their cases this week is social media metrics, and this is the use of metrics in the analysis of social media activity, both for marketing purposes but also in other areas of the organisation. So we are aware that a great deal of work has been done to understand how metrics and performance measures may be applied to social media for marketing purposes. What we explore inside the program is how we can look beyond the marketing area to other areas of the organization where social media may be applied and where metrics and performance measures may be used to do that more effectively. And this week, the case studies that are being contributed to the archive reflect this activity. The organisations that have been written about include BuzzFeed, an organisation based on the use of metrics to determine the news items that are covered. They focus deliberately on news items that are likely to generate shares on social media. Zoho Social are discussed, a useful tool for those of you who are managing your own social media activity. Documentary filmmaking is another area that is considered inside our case studies. The use of metrics, particularly to enable funders and supporters of documentary films to understand the impact that they're having. Often their focus is on the social or political impact that their documentary will have, and the use of social media metrics to gain greater understanding of what that impact might be is considered inside the case study on this topic, which has appeared inside our archive this week. The Metropolitan Museum of Art is also the topic of one of the cases this week, where metrics are used in order to develop the engagement with the public that the Metropolitan Museum of Art has. Very interesting case study that looks at how they do that and likely to be useful for people in other organisations. Trip Central is a travel company in southern Ontario. Their use of social media metrics is the topic of another case study, as is Metroland Media, an organisation that produces community newspapers in Ontario, a great many community newspapers in Ontario, and their use of social media metrics is considered inside a blog post in our archive this week. Flashstock, a company that develops content for organizations that are using social media for their own purposes, and their use of metrics is discussed. Budget Marine, a chandlery company in the Caribbean, also use social media metrics for their purposes. And metrics in YouTube and Facebook are discussed inside an interesting contribution to our archive, which looks at the differences between the metrics which are used in both of these tools and cautions organizations to be aware of what lies behind the numbers that they're seeing from YouTube and Facebook. Finally, Glossier, a cosmetics company, uses social media extensively to develop its product and to engage with the users of its product, and their use of metrics is also considered. This week, the participants in the program will be moving on to look at marketing as an area where they're developing their case studies, and we're likely to see very interesting content given that this is an area that is quite advanced in many organizations and where we might look to see the new areas that this may be moving into. So thank you for your interest inside our program. If you're interested in discussing the program further, please don't hesitate to contact me. Have a good week.